And I finally had gotten to the point where I had given up. I was like, okay, I'm going to die, and I'm going to die, and that's it. He came in, stood at the end of the bed, looked at me, and he was, Mr. Blackston, if your condition does not change in the next 2.5 to 3 hours, we're going to vent you, and your life is in the hands of God. That was the huge turning point in my life. She took her gloves off. So this was the first time anybody had taken. And she reached up and she grabbed my hand and started praying with me. And she said, "That's enough." I said, "I just want to go a little bit more." And she said, "How am I supposed to write this down?" I said, "You know exactly how you're supposed to write it down." The nurse comes in and says, "What are you doing?" I said, I'm getting out of the bed." She said, "You can't get out of the bed. You can't stand up. Your oxygen's too low." I'm like, I can get up.
Well, Mr. Steve, I want to welcome you to the show today. This is a great honor for me. I'm excited to do this. So thank you for being here.
I'm glad I could honor you with my presence.
It is. It's a true honor. Mr. Steve, I've kind of done this with a couple of my guests, but could you just kind of give me a rundown of how you know me and our family?
Oh, wow. Okay, so way back in the beginning when we started homeschooling, great day. Y'all were in the same homeschool group with us, Sea Life, Christian Leaders in Family Education. Yes, still remember it. For some reason, I'm still on that board. But been going back since homeschooling. I remember when you were much smaller than you are now.
That's not much smaller.
Yeah, well, it is. You're about the same loudness, but you were much smaller. And I've been around the family for years through the homeschool environment. And, of course, David Allen, a family connection there because of his wife, Jennifer, and the whole family. And it's just, known you for a long time. Dealt with you over here at Mountain Gap at the camp. And so, there you go, man.
You say dealt with me as in...
Dealt with you, endured, okay. Made it through without any physical contact of hurting you. Yes, no, there's no issues there, man. You've been outstanding. Enjoyed my time over there at the camp. Getting to go back again this year.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to that. We're going to be conquering some issues this year.
Good. I enjoy it every year. But so going into that a little bit, can you kind of talk about what the camp is and how you got started in, preaching at it each year?
Yeah. So it was really weird because that would have been 2022 when I just got out of the hospital with COVID. I was sitting at the house and I just went teetotally blank on her name. Her husband's the chief of police in Thomaston.
Stephanie Richardson.
Thank you. Miss Stephanie Richardson reached out to me. She said, "Hey, my name's Stephanie. I'm the director up here at Mountain Gap at the camp. We're starting the camp back up this year. Would like for you to come and speak." And I'm like, "I have no idea who you are. How are you getting in touch with me? Why me?" And I was wanting to go back to North Carolina to the camp I've been going to before. And it just wasn't working out. After COVID, I was pretty well shot on a lot of stuff. Couldn't do a whole lot of things, and so it was just ironic that the inability to go back to where I wanted to go because of my physical condition kept me from doing a lot of things with the kids that I would normally do in my ministry, such as fundraising. And so with that, we wound up coming up here, and that's where we've been going ever since. This will be the third year. Third year I've been going there to Mountain Gap. Absolutely love it. Great camp. Ran very well. And that's how I got started there. It was like God said, "Okay, you've been here enough. I'm going to close this door. And now I'm opening up this door. And this is what I want you to do." And I want you to reach a whole new group of kids. And that's what I love.
Yeah, and you definitely do that each year you come.
Yeah, it's amazing.
They were up to, was it like 70 or 80 kids last year?
Yeah.
They had,
Yeah.
y'all had a lot.
So look, and I think they got on there. They have the ability to hold 88 this year.
Wow.
So yeah, that will be awesome.
I imagine it'll be full this year because
hope
you
so.
bring a lot of kids too when you come
Yeah.
from your church,
Yeah.
don't you?
Right now, I think I got 24, 25 on roll that's going to be coming. That we do fundraisers, and we did our first one in January. So yeah, they're going to be coming up there.
Yeah. I think that fundraising, I remember I did go one year to that camp with y'all in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fundraising is really a
Holy
great
cow,
idea.
You did go to that.
I did.
Wow.
I can't remember what year it was, but yeah, I went with y'all, and I kind of went because Luke was going.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, that fundraising, I think it's great, especially for kids that it may be a challenge for their parents to pay
Exactly.
for it. Because I know even with us, when you got 4 kids going to camp,
Oh.
in the middle of summer, you got people going on vacation.
It's
they want to see
brutal.
it. Yeah.
So yeah, the only thing I ask for the parents to do is you pay the deposit, and then I cover like the other $175, $185 through fundraisers. And we do the fundraisers there at the church. We serve them a lunch. We do something of that nature. It works out good. The kids all get their money. But the deal is you have to come and work. If you don't work, you don't get the money. And I've had people get upset with me. Well, my child wants to go. Well, your child needs to come work.
Yeah. No
It lets me
standing around.
Yeah, it lets me see the dynamic between each of the kids, who they can be around, who they shouldn't be around, who works well, who's gas, who's fire. You don't put gas and fire together in the same cabin. So you need to see how everybody works out.
Man, you really got it down to science now.
Just
Been doing it
done it
long
long enough. Done it long enough.
Well, Mr. Steve, I kind of want to get a life story on you. So let's start in your childhood. Where did you grow up?
Wow. I grew up in the great big town of The Rock, Georgia, where we have more cows than people. It's located there in Upson County at The Rock. Grew up, I've been on the same road my entire life. I started at, 78 Famborough Road, which was right there at the beginning. Then I moved down the road to 387 Famborough Road. And then I've moved down the road, and really I'm not on the same road, but I'm right off of it on Peacock, where I look at Famborough Road. So my entire life, I've been on this one road. I see it every single day. Born way back in 1973. Yes, I know, right there when dirt was first created. I was there, and grew up, had a great childhood. Parents got a divorce around the age of 10. And then from that time on, my dad remarried, my mom's remarried, got great, I reckon you'd call them step parents, but they're great people. I don't look at either one of them as steps. They're great, outstanding people. I am blessed to have everybody I have in my life. And so, yeah, grew up on the farm. Single child, only child. Everybody goes, oh, you got that only child syndrome. No, we were not rich, but my parents made sure I had what I needed. Didn't necessarily have everything I wanted, but I had what I needed. And had a good life. Grew up on the farm, had a 3-wheeler. Yeah, that tells you some age right there, because they don't make those anymore.
Nah, I think they're actually illegal.
They are. They say they're illegal because too many people got hurt. Yeah, I got hurt plenty of times, but you know what? Still here.
Any notable injuries?
No. Stupid things? Oh, yeah, plenty of stupid things. Injuries? No. I got up and walked away from everything. No broken bones until I turned 30. When I turned 30, I slid into third base at a church league softball game. The Steve Harrington was down there. He's going, come on. And at the last second, he says, get down. And so I slide. Okay, I'm not athletic. There's nothing about me that's athletic. And so I attempt to slide. And he says, when I slid to third base, you hear this. And he said, I heard it. And it was my leg breaking. I broke both of the bones in my leg, broke my heel in 3 places, shattered my ankle. Everything just exploded in there. It was horrible. To which then I get to the hospital. They won't let me have anything to drink. They won't give me any medicine for it. Then they finally get x-rays and say, tell you what, we'll operate on you in 2 days. 2 days. Just go home, take these pills. Dude, never had a painkiller in my life. Hydrocodone. I'm laying there, pop a pill, looking at the ceiling. We got recessed lighting in the ceiling. The light bulb comes out of the socket and runs around on the ceiling. And I'm laying there going, hey, babe, I think it's working. And I am just like, I don't know what is going on. I turn and look, and the wall receptacle over there, it is talking to me. The little eyes in there, and it is just talking away. I'm like, I really need to go to sleep. That was horrible.
Did it take away the pain though?
Dude, I don't remember. All I remember, the light bulb running around the ceiling, the wall receptacle talking to me. I don't know what I felt at that moment.
Yeah.
I was just, yeah. So yeah. And there you go. No broken bones up until that point, but great childhood. Worked on the farm, hauled hay, driving trucks, driving tractors, fishing. Great life. Great life.
So you lived over there right across from the Rock Ranch?
What used to be known as the Rock Ranch, which is now the Steve and Marjorie Harvey. Oh, I can't remember the last part of their ranch name, but yes.
Did they rename it?
They did. They did. They've already renamed everything, and
they got signs out and stuff.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So they've done a lot of stuff over there, and it's good. I think it'll turn out to be a good thing. He's got his camp running over there, and I think that's going to turn out really good. I really do.
Yeah.
They've been doing that for a number of years over there. Even when it was the Rock Ranch, he would come down. They would have the camp and everything. So some exciting times.
I heard it was for underprivileged kids. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He's got mainly inner city kids. He brings them down here to go through life skills, how to act, how to talk, how to dress, manners, everything. He covers a huge gambit of stuff over there with these kids, and it's outstanding. It really is. A lot of them are from single family homes. They're over there, Steve Harvey and them, they put male figures in their life, teach them things, and it's good. It's good. Puts a positive role model and person in their life.
That's great. Because a lot of them, I'm sure, don't have that.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. So, were you ever a troublemaker growing up?
No. Because I was the only child, and there was one other guy that lived on my road, Freddie. We never got in trouble. It wasn't until, let's say high school, when, let's say that would have been 10th grade, made it on the drill team in ROTC, Reserve Officer Training Corps. It used to be Upson High School, and it was the ROTC unit there. And yeah, got on the drill team, spinning rifles, traveling around the Southeast, and then I turned into a little bit of a jerk. Yeah, I would. We would fight. We would do stuff. Yeah. There were some times. There were some fights. Tire tools, front of a truck on a person, rifle butt to the chin. Yeah, there were some issues.
You did that?
Yeah, I
people,
did that.
Or
I did that to people.
Okay.
Listen, yeah, and here's the crazy thing. I got in trouble one time. I'll never forget. Senior year, I was a battalion commander at that time. Oh, Miss McClellan. Miss McClellan was a typing teacher. And I may have gone through her room and turned on all the typewriters. Okay. So when she goes to a master's...
You said typewriters?
Yeah, typewriters. Those things, yeah, okay, I'm dating myself, baby. I'm going back to 1991. When you flip the master switch, all the typewriters would come on. Well, she did that, and it caused enough of an overload and a surge, and it like fried 2 or 3 of the typewriters. So I'm sitting in my first class, and everybody's there. And it was a Thursday. Thursday was the day we all wore uniforms and everything for inspection and all. And I'm sitting there, all of a sudden my name comes on and goes,
Steve Blackston, please report to the principal's office.
I'm like, I have no idea. So I get up. I've got my full dress blues on. I got my sword on my side. I go bebopping up to the principal's office. Secretary looks at me. She says, just go on back. I'm like, okay. So I walk back there, and Mr. Angelo DeVivo, great guy, awesome guy. He's back there, and I turn the corner, and there he is sitting at his desk. He's the principal. You don't know anything about principals or anything, do you?
Not much.
No,
Not
yeah.
much.
Well, next to Mr. DeVivo is Commander Warren. He's standing there, and I'm like, wonder what's going on. And so they asked me very direct questions. Did you do this? Yes or no? And I find, yes, sir. Okay, that's all I need to know. Take the jacket off, take the sword off, turn around, grab the chair. I am a senior in high school at this point. Windows open. Anybody walking by sees me standing there, holding onto this chair. Good grief. Mr. DeVivo lit me up on that one. Picked me up off the ground with that paddle. Got 3 licks from him. I'm thinking it's over. Nope. Commander Warren then goes, my turn. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Commander Warren lights me up. I'm thinking, dear Lord, there ain't enough of my rear end left for anything. It is over now. I can go on back. Well, the next class was in ROTC. I get out there. Senior chief, he's like, Stevie, I heard you did this. Come here and let's go for round 3. There wasn't anything left of me. Dude, that was the most severe thing I've ever had happen as far as punishment from a school administration of any type and being a troublemaker. So yeah, there was 1 or 2 times.
Oh, wow. I don't even.
And I am the man I am today.
So
Typewriters. That's the reason y'all got computers now.
I can't even imagine that. Imagine that happening today.
Oh, man.
That would never happen.
No, but it should, by golly. There ought to be consequences made. I mean, when you do, look, there's consequences, both good and positive, to everything that happens in life. And by golly, in the schools, there needs to be the consequences of spankings because you do stupid stuff. Kids, since the beginning of time, have done stupid things. And there needs to be actions taken immediately following the stupid things. That way the kid goes, oh, that was stupid. I shouldn't do that again. And this is what will happen. And everybody understands. And it's done. But hey.
I think that's the simplest explanation of that I've ever heard.
You know, yeah. At the house this past weekend, our senior pastor and I were talking, and we have a store at the church where we sell stuff, and I was going to do a fundraiser. And so I made what I call Mr. Steve's spanking sticks. They're 18 inches long. They're 1.25 inches wide, and they're, 3/8 of an inch thick. White oak. Good spanking sticks. I even routed them, got them all where you can wrap your hand right around them. Go and get them laser engraved in there. Or spare the child. No, what is it? Spoil the rod, spare the child. Which I can't get it in my head right now.
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
There you go. Have that laser engraved on there and have my ministry logo on the other end. And that way we could sell them in the store for the parents. Have a little hole drilled in there, and they could put a leather strap on there so they could just wrap it on and be like, we're going to correct that action right now. I got a Mr. Steve spanking stick. This is your children's pastor doing this. And that's right. But Miss Nicole has pretty well talked me out of it.
I mean, that would be something that they could pass down to their children.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. It may still happen. I don't know. But right now I have 13 of them made, ready to go. And
laser engraved and everything?
Not laser engraved. I've got them all cut, sanded, routed, drilled, ready to go for the laser engraving. And then, they'll be.
One kid's going to get spanked with that. It's And this bus is going to say, Mr. Steve Spankin.
That's it. I'm going to leave an imprint on every child that does stupid stuff.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow, I don't know where to go from here. So you said you were a bit of a troublemaker
Yes.
When you were in school and stuff. But what was your education like? Did you, pursue higher education after high school or?
So here comes some of my darker sides of life. So I leave Upson High School in 91. I graduated. Went to North Georgia College up in Dahlonega. Started up there with criminal justice is what I was going to do. Criminal justice. Yes, sir. I was going to become a police officer, lawyer, something of that nature, and go out and bust the bad guys, make a name for myself. Well, the only name I made for myself was Ye Who Goes Home in his second quarter. Yeah, we had quarters back then, too. It wasn't semesters, it was quarters. So I go to the first quarter and get my report card. It says good standing. Well, now, it wasn't great. It was good standing. So at the end of the second quarter, I'm at home and the report card comes in. And it says academic dismissal. I have been kicked out of college. I received a nice little letter saying, come get your stuff and don't ever come back. So I went, I spent too much time with there's a group up there called, they're still there, Outstanding Blue Ridge Rifles. I was on the Blue Ridge Rifles doing stuff. And yeah, we'd go around places performing, doing our drill. I spent a lot of time on drill. More time on drill, and not enough time on those books. So got kicked out of college, came home, spring quarter, took it off because I couldn't go back to school anywhere. Anywhere in the University of Georgia system, I was completely banned. The summer quarter, I got into Gordon. I went over there and had a talk with the president. I don't remember the lady's name, bless her heart. She said, I tell you what, I'll let you come in. And so I started over at Gordon, had no idea what I was going for. I was just like, let me get back in school, get started. And then there's a gentleman that moved in the house that I used to live in at 78 Fanborough Road. He now lived there, and he worked for the Department of Transportation. And he said, Steve, have you ever thought about being an engineer? Nope, I haven't thought about a whole lot of stuff. So he talked to me, and I wound up going to Southern Tech, is what it was called at the time. Southern College of Technology. It's Georgia Tech's like little stepsister or little sister or something or other. And started going there, and I would co-op, which means I went to school a quarter, and then I worked a quarter. School a quarter, worked a quarter, and then back and forth. And it allowed me to pay for some of my schooling and make my way through. And when I graduated, I had a job. So I knew exactly what I was doing when I graduated, and everything that I did, I understood how to apply it into a job. So that turned out very good. And so I did that and graduated from Southern Tech, which by the time I left, it was Southern Polytechnic State University. And now it's known as Kennesaw State University, Marietta Branch. So there you go. From North Georgia College to Gordon College to Kennesaw State University is where it is now. So now I'm currently going through a seminary, which is Andersonville Seminary, finishing up stuff on there. When I get done, I should have my doctorates. So I'm about 2 tests and 1 paper away from that.
Wow, that's great.
I don't know. It's a personal quest, a personal want, a desire. Just because, and this is nothing against anybody that's got all these letters before or after their name. Just because you got letters doesn't make you a smart person. If anything, it shows you're determined or you're stubborn. Or maybe you're just gifted by God to be able to recall things at a moment's notice. If you are, congratulations. But it's one of those things I just want. And I'm going to get it.
Is that why you went back? Because you want it?
Yeah, that's when I got kicked out, I wanted that degree. I wanted to have something. And especially back at that time, everybody was pushing, oh, you got to have a college degree. If you don't have a college degree, you're doomed. Both of my boys, we've gone through the homeschooling process. They've graduated, and I told them both, if you don't want to go to college, that's perfectly fine. I completely understand. Neither one of them have. And they've turned out very good, very good. I'm very proud of my kids. And they got great jobs and no debt. And that's awesome.
That's a big thing.
It is. It's huge.
There's a lot of kids that are in
Deep debt.
very.
And don't really like what they're doing.
Yeah.
And their degree is a foo-foo degree, but I got a foo-foo degree. And now they're stuck with the burden of that for the rest of their life.
Why do you think college? I guess now I don't see it pushed as much, but why do you think it was pushed so much at one point?
It's kind of like a swinging pendulum. That we were at a stage at that point where there were so many tradesmen, so many craftsmen, that they said the base was solid. You needed people in upper management, and you needed to go to college so that way you could get that extra stuff. And now the problem is the pendulum's swinging the other way. Mm-hmm. And now we got all these people, and anywhere from my age, let's say from mid 30s, early 30s up to where I'm at, 50, 55 in that area, that's all at the top. And the bottom is missing now. So we're swinging this away to where all those craftsmen and tradesmen and everybody that knew the technical knowledge and kept the world running has come this way, and that number is very small. They're all retiring. They're all quitting. They're all dying.
Yeah.
And now we got this huge movement of everybody's up top and there's no base. And if that's the case, if you got this tall tower and there's no base, it falls over. And so, I mean, in my opinion, you're better off going to a technical school, getting some good understanding and knowledge, and starting your own business or apprenticing with somebody and doing that. I mean, good grief, you can go to a technical school for $4,000, get a certificate or degree in a technical trade, and be debt free in a year, and have a great paying job and do something that you love. So
that's what one of my buddies did. He went to Southern Crescent in Thomaston, and I'm not exactly sure what kind of certificates he got, but something to do with welding. Well, now he works at Caterpillar.
Yeah.
And he's actually going to school at night. There's a guy in Williamson, and from what he told me, this guy basically wrote the welding test for Delta.
Nice.
And so this guy, him taking these classes, I think it's a 1-year course, is basically punching his ticket to go work for Delta.
Nice.
So he has a job waiting for him once he graduates.
See, there you go. There you go. You gotta look ahead. So many times people are just pigeonholed into school, college. I gotta go to UGA. I gotta go to Florida State. I gotta go to some named school and make something out of myself. Or you're just so brainwashed into the. And I'm not trying to speak bad on education in colleges or anything, but we become so brainwashed on I'm a fan of this, so I got to go to this school. And we're really not going for the purpose of trying to learn and better ourselves. We're just going because family honor, I'm a fan, or some other thing. And we have kids coming out of school with huge debt, no idea what to do with their life, and cannot find a job because they got a foo-foo degree, but they got it from a school that they're a huge fan of. And so that's, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, the motivation to go to that, they don't really know why they're wanting to go. Sometimes. Exactly. They think they know what they want to go for, and they may change their major 3 or 4 times before it's over with. And I think a lot of them they go looking more for the fun of college,
The freedom.
the
of
freedom.
college.
That's better, and that's why they don't know what they really want to do, and so
Exactly.
they get 3 years in, and they're like, I don't want to do this anymore,
There you go.
and they have all this debt. But you had 3 years of fun, 3 years of freedom.
Or they go and they're getting into that, they're starting that fourth year and they find out, okay, this degree I have is pretty well worthless unless I get my master's. Now I got to stay another 2 years and get my master's. Well, you know what? It was good 2 years ago to have that master's, but now I got to have my doctorate.
Yeah.
And so it just keeps stretching out and stretching out and stretching out. Now, if you make it the entire time, you may find a great job. You may find a high-paying job. But now you got a lot of debt. And that's just, it's almost a rabbit hole that just keeps going down. And maybe you'll find your way out, but there's a good chance you won't.
My uncle told me something one time. He said, anywhere that's looking to hire is not going to really care what it says on your diploma unless it's from, Harvard, Princeton, an Ivy League school.
Yeah.
When somebody's looking to hire you, they're looking for the most qualified candidate for the position. It has nothing to do with what college you went to.
Yeah. I've hired in my job since I'm bivocational and I work with the federal government. And I've had to hire people for engineering. I could care less what school you went to.
Yeah.
What were your grades? What experience have you had outside of school in the real world? Are you able to show what you've taken in school and you've been able to apply it at other jobs, other places? That's what I'm after. I could care less what school you went to. That has nothing to do with it unless, like you say, some super prestigious school. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Like I'm looking for a civil engineer or a agricultural. If I'm looking for an agricultural engineer, I'm looking for one of my A&T schools. If I'm looking for civil, I'm looking at Georgia Tech. I'm looking for somebody of that nature. But if it's none of those schools, I could care less. Let me see what you got. What kind of person are you? How do you interact? What do you know off the top of your head? Those are the things I want to be able to see.
Experience is sometimes better than a college degree.
That's the reason I so loved the co-op program I was in, because I had the book learning, and then I would go out into the field or the job for the next quarter, and I could take what I learned here and see if it applied here. Sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't. I would get the experience here and then go back the next quarter and say, you know what, I know what your book says. I know what this, but out there in the field, this is how it's done. And many of the teachers would sit there and go, you're 100% right, but I have to teach you what the book says. So experience is huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
And for me, that's experience is how I learn. I learn best from hands-on learning.
Yes.
Like getting in there and doing it myself. Just somebody teaching me over Zoom or over a book or whatever. That's
Absolutely
that's
hard.
a little more difficult for me to
Yeah.
understand and get it into my brain. But overall, I think education is great.
Oh, yes.
My piece of advice, and this is coming from a 19-year-old that's only been going to college for 6 months now. Mm-hmm. Know what you're going for
Yeah.
before you go.
Have your end game ready.
Yeah. And I guess I'm not really taking my own advice because I'm not exactly sure what I'm going for, but by the end of the next quarter, so the end of the year, because place I go, it still goes by quarters, I'll have 76 of my 90 credits to graduate with an associate's. So by the end of that, by the end of the 76, I'll be able to get reimbursed by Hope.
Yeah.
But it's like, just spend a little bit more time and graduate.
Yeah.
So I had it at criminal justice because I thought something like a game warden might help me. Or
Good job. Good job.
Michael Richardson, he offered me a job over there as a police officer. So I thought maybe something like that, but you know, with my business and stuff, I'm trying to expand it. I think I might do something with a business degree.
Yeah.
We'll see. Just to
right.
kind of, you know, get that knowledge. But
You got to get your focus going then.
yeah, I gotta, you know, kind of lock in and decide.
There you go.
But yeah, education is a great thing, and I understand a lot of these kids going to certain schools because it might not be their dream school, but they want to honor their parents' wishes.
Exactly.
But then you can also flip that script, and parents, I don't want to say force, but advocate for them going to a certain school because so they can tell all their friends, well, my kid goes to this school. My kid goes to fill in the blank.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't become about the kid anymore, and it becomes about the parents' pride.
And that's and I understand. Oh, I'm a legacy here, and I want you, son, to go where I went, and you can enjoy the same things. Listen, that's all great.
Yeah.
But the whole purpose is to raise your kids up, to let them stand on their own 2 feet instead of stand in your shadow. And as soon as parents can understand that, they're going to make their life easier and their kids' life easier. Let your kids grow up and stand on their own, not behind you or under you or in your shadow, but actually on their own, and let them grow into who they're meant to be. So that's
Yeah, because at some point they have to start making their own decisions.
yes, they do, and they're going to be responsible for every single one. It's hard.
And if you don't do it right, that comes back on the parent. That comes back on you.
Yep. So when the kids move back in and go, okay, I don't have anywhere else to go and I don't have a job, what am I supposed to do? I'll just sit here. Yeah. Well done, parent.
You talked about your job a little bit with you know, ministry and stuff. How did you get into ministry? And you mentioned you being bivocational.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Tell me a little bit about that too.
As I said earlier, I started with the DOT. I was there from 1998 until 2003. And in 2003, at the end of 2003, I transferred, or I moved over to the USDA, and I'm an area engineer right now. I'm the area engineer with them, covering the northwest corner of Georgia, on all the agricultural engineering that goes on, anything from, great day, pipeline, livestock pipelines, irrigation to embankments on ponds, water and troughs, concrete. I mean, we cover a huge amount of different things, and absolutely love it. Great job. I love the job that I do. And so I do that, and I'm also the children's pastor at Mountain View in Thomaston. Got started there. Oh, great day. It was back in 1990. Yes. Way back then, I started going to church there, and joined actually in December of 1990, and been at that church ever since. I've been the training union director, the Sunday school director, been a deacon, been a pastor, been the the children's pastor, worked with them in the youth groups, Wednesday night service, RAs, just about every spot you could. I've had some part of it. But as far as the ministry part, I was running the light board and the sound board some. Not really a whole lot on sound. That was another person. But I did the lights and the computer for the church. And, of course, we got to the point where we got so big and so fancy. We had to have these screens up on the wall, and we had the projectors, and we had to have all the words up there. And I'll never forget one time they were practicing on a Wednesday night, and one of the people in the choir said, "Can you put the slides up faster so we can sing it?" And my inside voice came outside, and I said, well, why don't you just learn the song and you don't have to worry about the slides? And yeah. So anyway, there was a Sunday. I'll be honest with you, and this is some of the stuff a lot of people don't know. There's a few that do, but you get into church or you get into some type of leadership. You get to a point where you think of yourself as a much higher person than who you really are. And you get to think of yourself as the only person that can do something. And you put everything on you that never was meant to be on you. You're only asked to put slides up there, put the words on the screen. Well, next thing you know, you're putting the words on the screen and you're taking care of this stuff over here. And next thing you know, let me add cameras in. Now I'm running cameras into the screens and a little bit of light board, and you just keep piling stuff in. And people keep coming to you, and they like, man, Steve does that, and Steve does this. Let's give Steve something else. Let's give Steve something else. So next thing you know, you're only supposed to carry this pair of glasses, but now you're carrying the whole optical shop with you everywhere you go. And it's all because you kept doing it. And there was one day I finally had a meltdown moment and just quit. I quit everything. I forgot who it was, came up to me one night and asked me something. And at that point, I was completely fed up. I completed a church service that night. It was a Sunday night. My family had already gone down to Florida. We were going on family vacation, and they were like, well, we got to have you at church Sunday night. You're the only one that knows it. And so I said, fine. And somebody said something, and inside of me, my head just exploded. And I remember going into the pastor's office that evening, and I told him, I said, I quit. I'm done. I'm fed up with this place. I'm fed up with church. I'm fed up with it all. I'm out. Bye. And I left. Walked right outside, got in my truck, and I drove from Thomaston down to Panama City, met up with my family. By the time I got there, I had a whole bunch of people calling me, Steve, you can't be doing it. I was done with it. Absolutely done with it. And there was a guy by the name of Brian McCarthy. He reached out to me. He was associate pastor down there at the time. And because during this whole time, I in the back of my head, I kept going, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, but this is what I'm doing. And for some reason, I kept going, children. I'm supposed to be working with kids, but we don't have that here at the church. I'm not about to start something else in my life that I've got to do. And so I just quit. And we stayed at home, good grief, probably a month, maybe a month and a half. And then one day Brian called me up. He said, hey, I need to come out and talk to you. And he rode out there to the house. Him and his wife, Heather, they get there, and we go outside and sit down and talk. He goes, look, I'm going to cut straight to it. I want you to come back to church. I said, well, I imagine so, but I'm just, no need, no desire. And then he goes, I want you to take care of the kids. I want you to be the children's minister. And it was like somebody hit me with a bucket of ice water. It was just like, wow, if this is not like God telling me, hello, I tried to tell you, but you know what? Everything else is out of your way now. You quit everything else. You walked away. What's to stop you? And there was nothing. So I told him, I said, let me think about it. Let me pray about it. So I did, and called him up, and I went back to my church, and been there doing children's ministry ever since. And that started probably, great day. Levi would have been 4, and he's 22 now. So it's almost 20 years doing that. Almost 20 years in children's ministry. At that point, we got something going for pre-K. We had a nursery, but then we established a pre-K, and we established a kindergarten through 5th grade classes. And that's what's been going on with my life ever since, in children's ministry. Loved it. Was ordained September the 28th, 2014, and been doing it ever since. Love it. It's a great opportunity. I get to go to schools and speak, go to different functions and speak, go to camps and speak. So it's been great. It has been great. It's been a wild ride. Some days it's pure chaos, but it's great. Wasn't expecting all that, were you?
That's great. I love that. Wow.
It is what it is.
That's pretty cool how sometimes, we think we're running from God. We're trying to get away from all this. And then he flips it around and
Absolutely. You think you're running, you're getting away, and you're doing exactly what he wants you to do. Clear all the obstacles, clear out your mind, and go, okay, what's your excuse?
turns out you're running to him.
Headlong as hard as you can, and you had no idea.
Wow.
That's God.
I'm sure you have a couple or maybe just one story to tell from your time in children's ministry.
Oh, wow. Oh, good grief. There's so many different things. It depends on how much trouble. So one thing I do for kids, and I have fun with this. Whenever it's one of their birthdays, I sing happy birthday to the kids. And it is the most beautiful angelic voice many kids have ever heard. Many adults cringe when they see me coming and they know that I know it's their birthday. But yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible singing. I do it on purpose. I've never been able to sing worth a flip in my life, so it works out beautifully. I've had one that the parents told me that their daughter, it was their birthday, and they were going to be at La Fiesta at this time on this date. And so I pull up in there. I go bebopping in, and I'm getting up there, and the parents have never heard me do this. They were just like, hey, can you just come sing happy birthday? And this was the first time I did it, and it was the most horrible. You would swear cats were being killed and skinned alive. It was just brutally horrible. And so, yeah, I've done that for many years now. Go around, I've been different restaurants, different places, different houses, just show up and sing. And
No
then I
shame.
leave.
No shame.
No shame, man. People know it now. People know when there's a birthday thing going on in a restaurant and they see me walk in, they're like, here it goes.
He's fixing to sing.
It's happening long enough. And so, yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Had a great time. We've had other pastors at the church, Nerf gun battles, just great stuff. Good stuff. Ministry's good.
I bet the kids love it.
Oh, it's. I tell you what, it's weird. I've told them. I said when I hit the third generation, I'm retiring. I'm on generation 2.5. We took kids to Michigan. Oh, great day. This would have been back in 1997, 98. We took kids to Michigan, and now I've taken their kids to camp, and some of them are getting close to having their own kids. So, yeah, you turn around and you see kids that I had in kindergarten, and now they're coming up to me and they're grown. And it's crazy. It makes you understand why I got gray hair. But it's good because what's awesome is when the kids come back up to you and they give you a hug and they tell you thank you, and they go, "I get why you were mean to me now. I get why you held that line. I get why you were so hard on me," and that makes it worth it. That makes it worth it. So.
I bet it does.
Ministry.
I got a couple of friends that are looking to go into the ministry.
Mm-hmm.
They feel called, and they're pursuing education through different, I guess, Christian colleges,
Yeah.
like ministerial I don't exactly know what all degrees. Anyways, what's some advice that you would give to somebody that's like a young person that's wanting to pursue that?
Read your Bible. You know, you can, and as I told you earlier, you can have all these fancy letters in front of your name and all the fancy letters after your name. But in ministry, it comes down to basically two things: God and love. And well, there's one more. There's patience. If you don't know God, you're not going to know love, and you're not going to have patience. But if you don't know God, you're not going to know His Word. And the only way you can learn His Word is to have patience. And you got to love reading His Word. And you'll love it the more you read it. And the more patience you have to actually read it, the more you love it and the more you know about God. You can go to every seminary, you can go and you can learn everything about the book of Daniel and everything else there is. The only reason I said that is because I just completed one on the book of Daniel. You can know all that. But to put it into your heart to the point where you know it, you can recount it, you can bring it back up on a moment's notice and apply it to life and apply it to the people that's coming to hear you. If you're the pastor, they're coming to hear what's going on, what's being said, and they see it in your life because you love it and you believe it and it's real. That's what's important. To have the love for people, to be able to discern when they're hurting and take care of them. And here's the thing. In ministry, it's going to cost you your life. It's so funny. People are like, well, ministry is the easiest thing out in the world. No. Jesus gave His life in His ministry. He served others constantly. There's so many times Jesus was just like, look, I need all y'all to go away. I just need to go up here and pray for a while. Just give me 5 minutes up here to let me go talk to Dad. And a lot of times that's the same way ministry is. People are always reaching out. People are always hurting. People need somebody to talk to. As a pastor, you get hit with everything everything that's going on in your congregation. People come to you. Look, I got this going on in my life. I got my wife doing this. My husband's doing this. My kids are doing this. And everybody comes to you looking for advice or coming to you. What does the Bible say? Pastors don't have that. It's very rare that a pastor has somebody else they can go to and say, Levi, I need to talk to you, man. This is what's going on. You're getting calls all hours of the day, all hours of the night, text. I need you to come over here and pray with us. I need you over here to do this. Can you help me with this? You have to be able to give yourself fully. And in that, if you're doing it and you're looking at getting married, your spouse has to know. This is your calling in life, and this is what life is going to be. I've seen that turn ugly, but if it's going to be done right, you both have to go into the ministry, husband and wife, and know that's the way it is, and be ready for that because it's hard. It can be very hard.
I think that's some good advice.
May not be what they want to hear, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Let's take a quick break, Mr. Steve.
Okay. Today, Nicole sent me a picture today. It was, let's see, where is it? That one right there. That was the first time I went back to church after COVID. I remember it. That's the first time I'd been back to church after COVID. So that had been 2022. That had been 3 years ago today.
Man.
It was the first time I made it back to church. And the only thing I could do, I could barely get in there. I just sat down on the floor and had my big book with me. And the kids and I are talking about who was born when, timelines and everything. And that was it. It's crazy. Stuff that, you're wanting to talk about is is like it just happened.
So, coming out of the break, can you just talk a little bit about, just tell me your experience with COVID, because I've heard different things from different people that it was rough for you. It was pretty bad.
It was nasty. It was very nasty. So let's see. Let's go all the way to the beginning. December the 17th. The only reason I remember this is that was the day of the Christmas parade we were having. December 17th, 2021. We were going around through the Christmas parade. We're throwing candy. Everything was fine. Feeling pretty good. We go all the way around the square, going back through, coming toward the end of Matthews Field, going back up a hill. And Ryan Christopher, our senior pastor, he was with me. We were walking and just throwing candy, having a great time. I looked over him and I said, man, I don't think I'm going to make it up that hill. I couldn't breathe anymore. I couldn't hardly move. I was so tired. He's like, you all right? I said, yeah, I think I'm going to ride the rest of the way. So I did. I crawled up on the wagon and I just rode the rest of the way in. The next day we had the family Christmas get together. And so we all go down to Macon. On my wife's side of the family, we're down there. And I just go find me a very comfortable chair, kind of like this. And I just sit down. And next thing you know, I'm over there just shaking. I'm like, dang, something's not right. I got the sun coming in the glass window right there. And I'm just shaking. My wife comes in and she goes, you okay? I went, no, I don't think so. And she feels me. I'm burning up. At this point, I got like 102, 103 degree fever. We go home. And it just bottoms out from there. Let's see, that would have been a Saturday. Sunday, I just stayed at the house. Monday, it was either Monday or Tuesday, I finally went to the doctor. And they, of course, did the swab test and they shove it up there and check the bacteria on my brain. And they test and go, yep, you're COVID. You're positive for COVID. I went, all right. So they told me to go home. And I went home and started doing what everybody said to do. And I started feeling better. I was walking up and down my driveway. I was getting about 2 miles in a day, walking, trying to keep moving, going to keep everything good. And I was feeling good. And then about Thursday or Friday, it completely bottomed out on me. I was walking and all of a sudden my oxygen was in the low 90s. And then I was walking and my oxygen was in the upper 80s. And so then I came in there and I sat down and we got an oxygen machine and they had it sitting over there and I'd have to wear it to get my numbers up. And we had it running at 6 liters. And Christmas Day, my wife tells me I'm always wrong on this. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay, it's all right. I think it was Christmas Day we went to the hospital and they told me I still have COVID. They hit me with some fluids and sent me home. The next day was when they came down there. My dad came down. Nicole was in there. And I was about out of it. I don't remember Christmas. Supposedly I opened up Christmas presents. I don't remember any of that. The last thing I really remember was that next day I'm sitting there in the chair and I finally had gotten to the point where I had given up. I was like, okay, I'm going to die and I'm going to die and that's it. The ambulance was on its way to come get me, because they already called the ambulance at that point. I got my kids in there and I had the infamous talk with your kids of, hey, Daddy's leaving. Daddy's probably not coming back. Levi, I need you to take care of your mama. Ethan, you take care of the house and everything. Take care of your sister. Ella, do what's right. I love you, girl. I'm sorry I'm not going to be there. And I had the talk. Looked at my wife, told her I loved her. The ambulance came and got me. They got me out of the chair, put me on the stretcher, put me in the back of the ambulance, and took the trip down to Macon, to Navasset down there. And bless her heart, Nicole was behind me the whole time. She was driving the hardest she could to keep up with the ambulance. And the last thing I saw, and we were there Tuesday night. Excuse me. Tuesday night we were in Macon, and I went, there it is. That's the place. I remember the last thing I saw of her is when I was in the back of the ambulance looking out the back, and I could see the car. And then we turned, and it tilted up because the ambulance went down an incline. And so I'm looking up at the sky, and that was the last time I saw my wife. And we pulled in there, and I didn't see her until January the 5th.
When did you go into the hospital?
I'd say it was December the 26th is what I think it is. I was in there for like, great day, 11 days, 11, 12 days. It was a long time. It was a long time. I remember getting in there, they wheeled me out, and they just pushed me up against the wall. There were people stacked up everywhere. It was not a good time to be in the hospital. But they came down there, they x-rayed me, got me checked. I only had 30% usage of my lungs. So both sides were 70% clogged up with pneumonia. Wasn't doing good. Finally got in a room late that night, and I had my phone with me. I was able to at least FaceTime my wife, let her know I'm alive, I'm in here, this is what's going on. So my wife and my dad, they're talking about different stuff and options, because I was out of it to the point I didn't know anything that was going on. I could not think straight. I could just tell them immediately from when people would talk to me, I would immediately call and say, this is what they were saying, and let it go. Things kept getting worse, and it was probably the second day I was there. I do remember the doctor coming in. He walked in there, he looked at me, he said, he did not have a very good bedside manner, and I respect that, because this man has been dealing with this for 2 years now. I remember he walked in there, he came in, stood at the end of the bed, looked at me, and he was, Mr. Blackston, if your condition does not change in the next 2.5 to 3 hours, we're going to vent you, and your life is in the hands of God. And he turned and he walked out. Within a total of 10 seconds, he had come in, told me, if nothing changes, I'm fixing to be vented, and my life is in the hands of God. And he walks out. And that's when I FaceTime Nicole. I was like, look, I need some prayers, and I need music. Music's been huge in my life for so long. Music's my escape. But I told her, I said, I need prayer and I need music. She's like, what's going on? And I told her. And that was the huge turning point in my life, I would say. For years, and this is not the good side of stuff. For years, a lot of my mentality was, I got places to go, things to do, and people to piss off. And people sit there and go, really, Steve, you're a pastor? And that's what you thought? A lot of times it was. And I'm not proud of that. Going through what I went through, I came out of it. I got places to go, things to do, and people to love. I was in there, and man, I started getting hit with so many songs. People just started texting me music, sending it to me through FaceTime, text, messenger, anything. I've still got every single one of them in a playlist on my phone. And there's one song, Raise a Hallelujah. And so I've never heard this song before. And so at this point, I've been down there about 3 days. They've shipped my computer down there, and I've got my computer sitting there. and the music's coming in, and this one song, Raise a Hallelujah, comes on. And I'm sitting there and I'm reclined back, and I start hitting the button. I just start easing my way up. Nurse comes in and says, "What are you doing?" I said, I'm getting out of the bed. She said, "You can't get out of the bed. You can't stand up. Your oxygen's too low." I'm like, I can get up. She's like, "No, you can't." And she starts laying me back. I'm like, "Leave me alone. I'm getting out. If you're going to vent me, you're going to vent me because I'm on the floor and out. There, you have no other option. You're not going to take me in this bed." Because I've heard all the horror stories of the doctor coming in, the nurses coming in, the doctor's talking to you this way, the nurse goes ahead and shoots the IV line in there, knocks you out. Next thing you know, you're vented and whatever. So I keep on, I get the bed up, and I get one leg off of the bed, and I got this song, Brandon Lake's Raise a Hallelujah, and I got it cranked up. And it's just playing. And I've already told you I can't sing, okay? At that point, I couldn't sing. I couldn't get any breath to sing worth a flip. And it took me probably an hour to get turned, my legs hanging off the bed, me holding on to the rail on the side, the other hand on the side of the bed, and singing. And the nurse, she's coming in there. She keeps checking on me because she knows I'm not going to stop. And she keeps coming there and she checked my oxygen. She's like, "Okay, look, you're running 86. You got to sit down." I'm like, I'm sitting. She's like, "Well, then you got to lay down." I'm like, "I'm not laying down." And so I keep going until I physically am finally standing up, and I'm just leaning back, and I got my hands up. I'm praising God. I'm worshiping. And have you ever just been cold? And you go to the dryer and it's done drying your clothes or whatnot, and you reach in there and get a jacket or a shirt or something, and you put it on, and when you put it on, you just get that, just, ooh, and it just warms you to the core. In the middle of all that hit me. I remember holding on to the bed rail, and I'm just singing, and I stink at my singing. But I'm trying, and I keep going. And the nurse, bless her, she keeps coming in and she's checking it. And she's going, "Mr. Blackston, your numbers are going down. You need to sit down." I said, "I will in a little bit." And then she'd come back in, and then she'd come back in, and she finally came in one time, and it went up. And I'm just standing there. I still got my hand up. I stand up for about 3 minutes, and I sit down for about 10. And she come back in there, and it had made it up to the 90s. And then I went 91. I got to 92. And she said, "That's enough." And I said, "I just want to go a little bit more." And she said, "How am I supposed to write this down?" I said, "You know exactly how you're supposed to write it down." She said, "Nobody's ever going to believe that God came in this room and just raised your oxygen up like that." I said, "I don't care." And this was the thing, because they would come in and out. Everybody had their own. I'll never forget the guy that made me the nebulizing stuff, the respiratory guy. He would come in and he had on one of these whole hazmat suits, rebreather and everything. Everybody else came in, they had double gloves, the masks, the shields, and everything else. The nurse at that time I was in there, and I remember she made 2 or 3 marks, and then she put it down on the end of the bed. She took her gloves off. So this was the first time anybody had and she reached up and she grabbed my hand and started praying with me. And I was thinking, man, you go to the hospital, nobody touches you, that'd be all right until you're there. And nobody has touched you. They come in and poke you, talk to you, talk about you as though you're an experiment. And it's nothing against the healthcare professionals. Bless the heart. They have been dealing with this for 2 years now, and they're worn out, burned out. I get it. But to finally feel somebody touch you, not a rubber glove, not a piece of cloth, not a needle, but a hand. And she stood there for probably 2 minutes and prayed with me and just sang with me. And then she left. And I sat down, and I was slap worn out from standing. But the point of it is, I would, and I've told this at the church, I've told people that I'll pray for you. And I'll do that. And I never felt as though prayer did anything. That day, I felt the power of prayer. I know what prayer is now. I know what it's like to receive prayer. I know what it's like to feel God say, I got you. That kind of prayer. Because that's what hit me down there. While I'm there and all that took place, that was nothing more than the power of prayer from so many people and kids praying for me. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. And that was the biggest thing from COVID, that where my life changed is not my oxygen getting better, not all the other stuff, but being able to feel the power of God working in my life and being able to fully acknowledge this is answer of prayer. This is what it's like when God answers your prayer. This is what you feel. Yeah, I've been there. I've had that. And it's sad that I had to go through what I went through because I was being stubborn. You know, I say this, probably if I submitted to God in ways that I should have, I wouldn't have had to go through all the stuff God had to put me through to make me sit back and listen. Sometimes we ignore God thinking that we know better, when that is the absolute most foolish thing we could ever think of, that I know more than God. And yeah, that's I had no other choice but to completely surrender and submit. And it's one thing to say that I surrender or I submit. It's another thing when you go, well, I'm just dead. This is it. I'm going to die. To the point where you surrender to that point of, God, heal me. And then you feel it. And then you go, that was it. All right. And from that point on, my numbers went on up. I started doing better. And I was able to come home. Best day of my life was January the 5th when I looked out that window and Nicole says, I'm here. And I'm like, where are you? And she says, I'm in a parking lot. And I said, which parking lot are you in? I want to see you. Man, she kept talking to me and I kept working her until I got her over there. And all of a sudden I saw my wife for the first time physically. She was like 500 feet away from me. But man, you talking about a good feeling? Holy cow. And the sad part is there were other guys, other people on the floor up there. There's one guy catty cornered from me. And if I'm not mistaken, his name was Jeff. Jeff wanted to know what music I was listening to because everybody on the 8th floor heard the music. Everybody heard my music. And they were all good with it. They wanted it. And I kept up with them. And Jeff didn't make it. Two of the other guys I was down there with didn't make it. I did. And I don't let a day go by where I don't acknowledge the fact that God is real. His prayer, how do you put this? That prayer is real. And there is some serious power in prayer. Man, as Christians, we have a God that we worship But not only do we worship him, or we should worship him, but yet we can have a one-on-one conversation. The creator of the universe will stop and listen to me, in my eyes, a nothingness. Out of all the people in the world, he'll stop and listen to me. And he wants to. He wants that communication. He wants that back and forth. And there's real power in prayer. It's not just oh, you pray, huh? You a holy roller. You're going to talk to God. You're right. I am. Because it's real. It is factual. Prayer changes things. People always talk about, oh, there's power in prayer. There is. There's huge power in prayer. Yeah, COVID was a booger, man. But I came out a different person. And I'm thankful that I went through it to change who I was to who I am now. Because otherwise I wouldn't be who I am now. I'm afraid I would have been a much worse example of what I consider to be today's more average Christian. I walk the walk, I talk a talk, and I walk what I want you to see me walk. But on the inside, I'm rotten. It's like Jesus talking to the Pharisees. He said, on the outside, you're pretty and you're white, but on the inside, you're dead. A lot of me was that way. And, but now, no. I don't have a thing to hide. I'll share my testimony at any time. Somebody wants to pray, we'll bust out and pray right then. I'm good with it because I know the truth there is in power of prayer. But since then, I've been back to the doctor a time or two. I've got a clean bill of health. No issues with the lungs, no scarring, no problems. Some of the medicines they gave me have completely wiped out my bacteria in my guts and everything, and I'm having to rebuild that, but that's just, that's part of it. But COVID was a rough little time. Rough time, man. Don't care to go through it again. And I hope that I'm not stubborn enough that God has to do something like that again. But there's my COVID spiel.
When did you get to come home?
January the 5th. That was the day I got to come home and actually get to my house. And if I'm not mistaken, it was January the 6th when Miss Stephanie called me. It was either the 6th or the 7th. It was right after I got home. And I remember going out and sitting on my back porch and talking to her. And so, yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. And they, during this time for the past, 13 years at our church, I've been playing the part of Jesus in our Easter play. And I still had my beard and I still had my long hair and everything. And they asked me, hey, you going to be Jesus this year? And me being stupid, I said, I don't know, probably so. And I went out on the back porch and I stood out there, and there's a post on the back porch or one of the pillars, and I'd go over there and I'd stand on the edge. It's got about that much of a lip, and I'd get over there and I'd put my hands up and see if I can stretch out and hold myself here, because when they put you on the cross in the play, you're up on the cross for like 10 minutes. It just stinking hurts. And so I'm like, let me see if I can get here. I didn't last 5 seconds, man. I was like, somebody get me down off here before I die. It was, and so that was the year I had to step aside from being Jesus in the Easter play. And so, yeah, a lot of changes happened that year. A lot of changes. But January the 5th, 2022 is when I came home. I went in. I'd say it was December the 26th of 2021, and I came out January the 5th of 2022. So, And there were a lot of people that went in for a lot less time and never came out. COVID was no respecter of person, age, or anything. It was just brutal. And so there you go.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Rough little time, but made it. I made it. And it's all because of God's grace and His glory. Nothing else. Now you done got me all sinulated there. Yeah.
So obviously Jesus is very important to you.
Huge, baby.
And this is kind of a question I've asked some other people, but I'm always curious to know about this. What is your earliest encounter with Jesus?
That would be around the age of 12 at Clark's Chapel Baptist Church down in Thomaston. It's another one of those things. I'm sitting there in the pews on the right-hand side. If you go in there at the church, they have the pulpit in the middle, set of double doors over there, set of double doors over here. I'll never forget, we're sitting there. One of the doors open up, and it is the coldest air that just flows over me. And I looked over there at my daddy, and I said, I want to get saved. He's like, what? We'll talk about this later. I said, no, I need to do this now. And so that's when it fully hit me about Jesus. And that's the first thing I can remember as far as my faith would be that. Grew up in the Rock Baptist Church. Went to Sunday school. Grandparents come and get me, take me to Sunday school. Parents take me up there to church, whatnot. VBS all the time. But that was the first time of my faith was that. We were going to church down there. Went back and talked to Pastor Dean Hemphill about it. And went through everything, got saved. Then later on, we were going to church, and then things at the farm got busy. And next thing you know, we'd miss a Sunday, Sunday night or a Wednesday night. Then next thing, we weren't there on a Sunday morning. Then we're having to work in the chicken houses or on the farm or doing something. And then just plain got lazy. We always found other things more important than going to church on Sunday morning. And so we weren't there. And so I slid out for quite a while, up until about the age of 18, when I started going to Mountain View.
How did you get started going there?
Out of all things, there was a guy in school, Matt Harvey. We were sitting in senior foods. Yes, that was a class in high school. Senior foods. We learned how to cook different dishes and everything. And he looked at me one day. He's like, look, why don't you come out to church with me on Sunday? And I told him, nah, I ain't doing that. And he kept on. I finally showed up and went. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And been there ever since. That would have been in 1990. And great day. Now I'm thinking about it. 90, that's 30, coming up 34 years I've been there. Holy cow. Seen a lot of things. Been there for a while. I've enjoyed it. It's been great. But yeah, that's how I got there. But that's the beginnings of it all the way to where I'm at now. It's good. God is so good, man. It's
clearly you're a testament of that.
I see where I've been and I see where I am now. And I know the only reason I am where I am now is because of God. If Steve had his way, Steve would probably either be dead or somewhere else by now. Well, that's a given. I wouldn't be doing the things I am. I wouldn't be with the most outstanding wife that I'm with. You talking about an angel, man. Nicole is the Proverbs 31 woman. There she is, wrapped up in a nutshell with a beautiful bow on her head. My wife, listen, and I'll tell you, like I tell any other guy, when you're looking for a wife, you need to be praying today for that woman that you don't know who she is. Or you may know who she is. Maybe she doesn't know who she is. I was working at Camp Thunder they had a COPES course, a challenging outdoor physical environment is what it stood for. And the church had come out there for a youth trip or whatnot. And I was one of the instructors out there, and I was going to church at Mountain View. Nicole was going to church at Mountain View. I didn't know who she was. Clueless. And I looked over there, and there's this girl over in the edge of the woods, and she was picking muscadines. And she had her shirt, and she was putting muscadines in there. And I walked over to her. I said, "You need some help?" She's like, "Yeah, I can't reach those up there." So I wasn't thinking. I just grabbed her around the waist, picked her up, threw her on my shoulder, said, "There, can you reach them now?" And she's like, "Okay." And she was picking them on. And hey, ever since then, yep. So when you're looking for your girl, just go up to her, grab her, throw her on your shoulders, and there you go, Levi. You'll be set from there on out, son.
That's the greatest piece of advice I've heard.
There you go. Just you see them, go after them, throw them on your shoulder, and go for it.
It just works out.
Just works out.
Wow. That's great. Rounding out this episode, I give everybody an opportunity to give a piece of life advice.
Ooh. Life advice. Let me see. I think I wrote. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so when it comes to life, don't try to figure out who you are. Live your life in service to Christ, and He will mold you into who you're supposed to be. And by that, I mean, you will try to figure out every move that you're supposed to make. If you surrender to Christ, He will build you into what He wants you to be. Because you got to think about it. If He has the ability to create the world and put everything in perfect order, you're trying to tell me, and He knows the beginning, middle, and end of your life. He knows what He's trying to accomplish down here. You're meaning to tell me that you know more than He does? If you just surrender to Him and do what He has you do, He'll put you right where you need to be, and your life will be so much easier, so much more simple, and you'll be able to fully enjoy the life that you've been created to fulfill.
I don't know what's going on up there. Oh my goodness.
I think they want me to come up there and sing with them.
That's what it sounds like. They're calling for you.
But yeah, that would be my advice. Surrender your life to Jesus.
What does that look like? Because for me, I struggle with reading my word every single day.
I think we all do. I mean, are there days I get up and I don't want to read? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And of all things, I saw a clip on Instagram, one of them, and it was a Marine that says, you have a choice every single day when you wake up. Either you can be a hero or you can be a zero. You have the opportunity. Do you want to win or lose? You got to make up your mind when you get up, am I going to be a winner today? You got to make your decisions. I've told my kids growing up and kids all through the ministry, and I think I've said it here earlier, every decision you have, there's a consequence, both good and bad. Get in your word. Taste and see that the Lord is good. To taste and see if the Lord is good means you got to sit down and eat the bread of life. You got to get that word in you. The more you get it in you, the more you're going to see how good it is. The more, and I told you earlier, you got to be patient. You got to love, and you got to get in God's word. You got to. It's hard. It's a struggle. It's a daily struggle. You got to submit your flesh to give up time to sit down and read. You got to submit your mind to not thinking about everything else that's going on and only think about that word. Sometimes we have to physically focus, physically sit, physically get away from everything else. We have to sacrifice that. But good grief, Christ isn't asking us to sit down for 24 hours a day and I'm just going to read and study this. Just talk to me. Spend some time. Now, there's some people going to tell you, well, you're supposed to give 10%. Everything's based on the 10%. Well, that goes back to Melchizedek and the very beginning of the tithing and everything. My thing is, give God your time. But when you give it to him completely. Totally. Not halfway, completely. Whether that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Whatever it is, surrender completely and totally in actions and deeds and everything to Christ. And do it every day. They say you got to do something. I think it's, 21 times, 28 times? Something of that number where it becomes habit. Don't let your Christianity, don't let your reading become habit. Habits will come and go. Ruts will come and go. Maybe not to a huge degree, but you'll fluctuate. Make it your life. There's a difference in a habit and a life. Habits you can break, your life you can't. If you constantly and daily get up and read it, it'll become who you are. And you'll desire it. You'll crave it. Are there still going to be days you get up and you're like, today is not the day that I want to read? Yeah. Maybe you don't read that whole chapter. Maybe you only read the first 5 verses. Maybe. But do it. Get in it. Read it. Be part of it. Get in it. You got to. You got to. It makes a difference.
Does it get any easier the more you do it?
Yeah. Because here's the thing. The more you do it, the more you start to crave it. It's kind of, okay. When I was a kid, the last thing I ever wanted to do was eat broccoli. Couldn't stand broccoli, man. Or Chinese food. Man, it's just, golly, it's horrible. As I get older, the more I do it, the more I like it, the more I love it, the more I want it. It becomes a craving. I get up in the mornings now and I want it. I want it. There's a devotion book I'm reading through right now. I'm just about finished it, From Milk to Meat. Absolutely outstanding. I can't remember Adam's last name. His first name's Adam. He goes through there, and it's just like a page, maybe a page and a quarter. And then there's a verse that goes along with it. But when I get to the verse, my Bible is broken down where it's in sections. And in a chapter, you may have 2 or 3 headings throughout there. And it's everything that's going on in there. And I want to read not just that one verse, because so many times we become cherry-picking Christians. And what I mean by that is, I'm just going to pick out this one verse, and I'm going to beat you upside the head with it. Well, hold up. Let's go get the whole context of where that verse is coming from. That stick that you're fixing to use on me may be fixing to beat you upside the head. I like to read the whole thing, and that's what I do. I take the time to read that whole section. I may not read the whole chapter. I'm definitely not reading the whole book unless it's like the book of Jude, and it's very quick. But I'm reading that section. Then I take time. I pray. I used to think journaling was just for girls. I'll go ahead and I do it now. I write down my stuff. I write down my prayer requests. I write down what's going on in my life. I write down what that verse means to me. And I keep it. And I've got books that I've written down my stuff in. And that's huge because it lets me take the time, because when you write something down, you're having to focus on what you're writing. You're having to think about what it is. You're writing it down. You're copying verses. You're doing, and then you're fully immersing yourself into it. Is it hard in the beginning? Yeah. But is it worth it? Over and over, yes, yes, and yes. Well worth it. But you got to do it. And it does become easier. And it does become something you want to do. And when you do miss that day, you feel like a total jerk. And you can feel, hey, I'm missing something out of my day. And you want it back. So there's times I haven't done it that morning, but by nightfall, yeah, I've got it. And we all have to do it. We have to submit. And when you submit, you get. And what you're getting back is 1,000 times better than you could ever imagine. So try it. Get in it. Stay in it. Focus on it. You'll see a difference. And if you can do it, journal it. Get you a book, notebook, whatever, and start writing it out. You'll be surprised.
I have one, but I've never really taken the time to do it.
Take the time, set the time aside, read, write, pray. That's simple. Read, write, and pray. Make a world of difference in your life. There you go. You can put that down as my words of advice.
That's great. Well, I want to thank you, Mr. Steve, for doing this.
You're very welcome.
Having some great conversations with me.
We'll keep all the side ones off of there today.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can do this again in the future.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
You are welcome, sir.